Hello and welcome back. It's been ages since I did the last video, but I have some great news because I've now managed to set up the store page. So Legends of Tynedale is now available to wishlist on Steam. I've left a link in the description and I'd really appreciate it if you would wishlist away. Every wishlist really helps me. Alright, so where are we in the project? Well, I've got 3 of the 5 dungeons finished, apart from they need lots of playtesting. And I'm on to Dungeon 4, which here you can see a little sneak preview. Another big update that I've got done is the heart pieces. So when you start off with 3, and every time you go into a dungeon and fight a boss, they release a full heart container. So that's another 3, which gives you 6. And then I've hidden 16 quarters throughout the world. There's some in Tynedale, in various places, so you might see one at the top of a waterfall, for example, and you can't get there yet, but eventually you will. So kind of keep that in your back of your mind. Some are underground and some are also in dungeons, but you need to collect 4 of them to get another heart piece. So I'll show you here. The minute I've got it to hoist it up, you can see I've got a bit of a debug in there, but it tells you. And then if you go into the infantry, you can see that we've got the 3 of the 4 we need. So if you come out of the infantry and I collect the extra heart piece, the final one of the 4, you can see not only does it tell you, but in the top it's also added an extra heart piece on. So now my player has 4, and the infantry resets it back to 0. So like I say, they're hidden around. I've put some in treasure chests, but I kind of feel that adds a little bit more mystery to what might be in the box. I'm going to have coins and keys and other things as well in chests, that like arrows, things that aren't really rewards and others that are, so you're always guessing what you're going to get. See, I got another heart piece back onto 2, so that's the chest and this one I'm holding up. And then here's my 3rd quarter, again showing you. And then finally we get the final of our 4 quarters, collect your 4 heart pieces, and now I'm up to 5 health there. I've also been working on the dialogue. At the minute, NPCs can only fit 2 lines of strings, and I feel it'd be good to have longer conversations and to use dialogue to interact with the world and the characters. Here you can see a simple placeholder. I decided to make it more fitting. I used the colours from the logo to help with the design. This meant I could have a nice strong orange border, but keep the design simple. But to make sure the contrast wasn't too stark, I added a lighter orange to the inner layer. I finished with a translucent inside, which means all that was left to do is to try and put it into Unity. After loading in the new background, I had to play around with the 9 slice. And voila, there we go. I think it looks a little bit better, but I decided to carry on playing around with it so that I could get the border a little bit thinner, as I think it just looks a little bit smarter. I then spent what seemed like an age messing around with all the different options and layouts, including where to put the name, the yes and no buttons. After tinkering with the presentation for a while, this is the final design. I'm quite pleased with it. I like the translucent black background, as you can still see where you are in the world. It also contrasts well with the much thicker font, allowing for easier reading. I quite like the border too, as the pixel art and colour matches the game themes. The continue button allows for extended conversations. This will also work for the books in the library too. However, conversations don't have to be long, as you can see with Elizabeth. Just click on continue and it's all over. The dialog box can also have a secondary option, often the accept button. When this happens, the continue button becomes the reject button and dynamically changes to give that message. I kept the accept button on the opposite side, as I know how frustrating it can be to accidentally accept something by clicking too enthusiastically. The accept button interacts with the world by sending a signal to the object, the gate, which is just behind here, and with that I can pay the guard and leave the town. So that wraps it up for this devlog. I know it's been ages since the last one, but be sure I want to do more. If there's something you'd like to see or discuss, let me know in the comments. It's always really great to hear from you. Don't forget to wishlist and like and subscribe to the video. Nice one.